A first alert protecting your identity. Consumer experts spreading awareness this week to help you learn about trusted sources, especially as we dive into tax season. Aisha has more at the First Alert Safety Desk. Good morning.
Good morning, Emerson. It's Identity Theft Awareness Week. Like you said, this is a time to learn how to protect yourself, at least some reminders. Department of Ag, Trade and Consumer Protection is partnering with the state's Department of Revenue on all of this. We know identity theft can happen year-round, but experts say to take special care between now and April, tax season, to keep your personal information safe and secure. So remember, you are your own first line of defense against fraud. DATCP says avoid storing sensitive personal information on devices like a cell phone or personal computer. These devices, as we've talked about, and the data on them can be fraudulently accessed by scammers or identity thieves. Also, don't share personal information in response to a cold call, text message, or email. If a message appears to come from a legitimate organization, make sure you verify their contact details with official sources first and reach out to the organization directly if you have concerns. Another line of defense for you this morning, placing a security freeze and fraud alert on your credit. A security freeze prevents new lines of credit from being opened in your name and stays in place until you lift it. A fraud alert requires creditors to take extra steps to verify your identity before extending anyone credit. And we will work on getting the link with both of these options. We have a freeze fact sheet for you under the Safety Desk tab at WBAY.com. Another good idea is to sign up for federal and state identity protection personal identification numbers, or IP pins. That adds extra security to tax filings by requiring you to verify your identity when you're filing those tax returns and those state tax returns. And last but not least, remember to regularly monitor your credit report. Very important, Steve.